Welcome, Cap's CarCast. I want to talk finding hidden value. Let's drive.
Get down. Get down. Get down.
All right, the story of why I don't drive as much anymore. And I think it's a good one. You be the judge. I'm here to kind of convey the story, if there's one involved, and typically there is in the CarCast, and you're the judge of whether or not that story has merit and value. I'd love to hear if it does, because two-way conversation is always better than one way. Again, my humble opinion, but I think most would agree. Not the point. The point is this. I would drive most times. That's where the concept of Cap's CarCast comes from. It was me driving around talking about these things, and I don't anymore. I get to my destination, and we have the conversation, just you and I, a little bit more intimately. And here's why. Occasionally I will cross-post the CarCast on Facebook and other social feeds. I'll put a teaser on Instagram. I haven't done that in a while, but I will do that there also. And this one particular time, actually, inevitably, the further I broadcast it, sometimes I'll even boost the post on Facebook. I get a lot of commentary on, not a lot, but somebody will always say, well, gee, that's not safe what you're doing, this driving around. My typical response has always been, hey, if Jerry Seinfeld and the carpool karaoke guy can do it, surely I can, right? That's kind of a joking way of doing it. And between you and me, when I am driving, it's incredibly safe. Camera's rolling before I start rolling, and doesn't stop until I stop rolling. So it's much as if you were right here sitting next to me and we're having this conversation. At the red light, I'm maybe looking at you. Red light turns, and then I put my focus on the road, but we still have the conversation. But never am I distracted. So that's just, it. But this one particular time, a woman said something like, God, I hate people who think they have to tell me about their business while they're driving around. So foolish and unsafe. And I forget her name, but I'm like, well, gee, you don't even know me. How can you hate me? Something to that effect. I found the comment a little aggressive, but she responded and said, well, you're right. She was apologetic for saying she hated me. And she said, I just find it, a little bit of a turnoff. And you never know. You might be losing people just by the mere fact that you were driving around. So I thought about that. I'm like, okay, that's a fair comment. First comment, not so fair, I didn't think. The last comment was, okay, that's interesting. Okay, if it's, she's clicking off because she turned it off by me driving, then maybe there's more. So here's what I did. Started talking more directly into the camera, and an interesting thing happened. Matter of fact, a friend of mine asked the other day, hey, why don't you drive around anymore? I said, like when you were driving. Because my engagement has gone up. Now that I'm placing my focus squarely on this conversation that you and I are having, the engagement has actually increased. I've gotten more shares, more subscribers, more views, more comments, not just on social, but I get more comments out in the wild, when I'm actually out at events or in front of clients that have seen the CarCast. It's really intriguing. So I'm like, well, shoot, engagement is part of the deal here. So I've decided we're going to have that conversation stationary. And I also can say that from my end, it's been incredibly rewarding because I sincerely have gotten to the point where I do feel like we're having a conversation. Does that make sense? I don't know. You tell me. I can't hear you. I've got to speak a little louder or respond or comment. But anyway, what's the point of this? The point is a couple things. One, you have to do this to get it right, to get those comments. Can't be afraid of doing it. Can't be afraid or offended of the comments. I wasn't necessarily offended by the comment. It was a little aggressive. But then most importantly, I think, and you have to, listen, and here's the key here, because I'm about to say you have to be on the lookout for hidden value, okay? You have to. Now, that's a tricky balancing act, though, right? We can't be inundated with trying to figure out what does that person mean and kind of unlock that. So we have to be confident from the position that we're communicating from in order to discern whether or not there's anything I should take into consideration and apply it. You see what I mean? Had I not responded with my, well, gee, you don't even know me, how can you hate me? I never would have gotten there. So I think the third thing is engaging. I don't know how many things that is. I'm saying third, but it could be 15 for all I know. But you see the point here is there's hidden value in things. You have to be strong and confident from the position that you're communicating from in order to be able to discern that value. And third, engagement goes both ways. That's an obvious, but it takes some time to not be offended and get into mix it up with somebody on social, which is so easy to do today. But, playfully ask them what they meant by that, right? Hidden value. Packed in everywhere. All right. I really want to share that story with you. I'd love to know what you think about it. Until then, see you next time. Every now and again, I feel as though maybe I go on a little too long. I think like 3 to 5 minutes is the sweet spot, right? But I'm enjoying the conversation with you. So I hope you enjoyed it. But more importantly, look, you're here and you know what I'm going to ask you, and there's absolutely no reason why you haven't subscribed. None. Just come on over, join me on YouTube, and I will absolutely talk to you next time we ride. Every now and again, I feel as though maybe I go on a little too long. I think like 3 to 5 minutes is the sweet spot, right? But I'm enjoying the conversation with you. So I hope you enjoyed it. But more importantly, look, you're here and you know what I'm going to ask you, and there's absolutely no reason why you haven't subscribed. None. Just come on over, join me on YouTube, and I will absolutely talk to you next time we ride.